There are going to be spoilers in this video, you have been warned. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. I'm doing another little anime review kind of thing, but I haven't actually written out like a script for this one. I don't have the time. I work full time. I'm a dad of 2 kids, so I try to fit things in where I can fit them. And today I really wanted to talk about 2 anime in particular that I never thought I would get around to watching, because the high school anime tropes are really just kind of not for me lately. I've not really been into the characters being high schoolers. However, at the same time, I've been wanting to watch these for a while because one of them is something that has been pretty famous for being kind of messed up, and the other has been a game actually. So I found out it was a game before I knew there was an animation for it. And of course, I'm talking about Another and Danganronpa. And hopefully by the end of this video, we're going to find out which one I recommend to you guys more. So buckle up and put your PPE gear on and get ready for a wild ride. First, I want to start off like analyzing Another. The main character is Sakakibara. He's having some issues with his collapsed lung in the hospital when he's visited by the classmates that he's going to be attending at the school. So he's going into 9th grade class 3, and class 3 has a bit of a mystery behind it. He ends up running into this character called Mei Misaki, or Misaki Mei. The whole class believes that she is a dead person, so they basically ignore her to the point where Sakakibara actually believes that she is a ghost. And after they find out that Sakakibara has been talking to Misaki Mei, the dying begins. Basically what happens if they don't ignore the dead person, this thing called the calamity starts and people just start dying like fucking Final Destination. But eventually it's established that the calamity had already happened before this happened, so the dead person actually isn't Misaki Mei. The dead person is somebody else entirely. So the idea of the dead person is that there's one too many students in the classroom and one of them is actually dead, which confuses me at first, because I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So Sakakibara goes to his aunt Reiko, who also experienced the same thing. However, she doesn't have very good memory of it, because apparently after the calamity happens, people tend to start forgetting. It becomes a mimetic, like, SCP thing, which makes me wonder why the SCP organization isn't on this, because the first couple of like deaths, like local law enforcement was involved in it somewhat. So I just don't genuinely understand why this didn't go to like a higher up and get solved, you know? To me, I feel like that's a plot issue, but we'll dive in on that in a little bit. So Sakakibara goes to his aunt Reiko and she goes to an old classmate, and they find out that he hid a tape recording in the old school building about how to stop the calamity. The kids go and they find the tape recording, and it turns out that they have to send the dead person back to death, which is basically like kill the person that's considered dead. And of course, this erupts in a massive panic. Everyone starts fucking killing each other. It's pretty crazy until you find out that the dead person the whole time has actually been Reiko, which is Sakakibara's aunt, because she was the teacher's assistant. And in the teacher's lounge, there was one too many deaths and nobody remembered that she existed, and it turns out she died a while ago. So the fact that she has like a physical body blows my mind. I don't understand that. Like, did she just like respawn? It's confusing. I know I'm not exactly sure how that happens. However, like the in-betweens and the details of how they get to where they get and why they're doing it is fairly good. Like, it's a very good show, despite not really understanding how this happens in the first place. Like, was this some kind of curse? Like, how did it form? Is it some kind of thing, you know? Like they don't really explain it beyond somewhat of a junior high school level, because that's exactly how it's perceived. So overall, I really did enjoy Another. Now let's move on to the next one. I want to talk about Danganronpa. I was introduced to Danganronpa by a friend at a fucking Discord call talking about the games, and it's explicitly like the first couple of games. I didn't really understand it until I watched the animation. I feel like the characters have very unique character designs. They're very special in their own way, and they have their own unique characteristics. It's actually pretty stereotypical, which isn't like bad in a way. It really kind of like separates them and makes them unique. But at the same time, it does go a little overboard. It is pretty excessive with the character designs. So basically, these kids wake up and they have amnesia. They don't know that they know each other, and they're in a situation where they have to commit a murder and get away with it in order to leave. So they're being forced to go to trial, and everyone has to determine who the killer is. So they're all putting all the pieces together, and the main character, Naegi, is running a campaign against the person in charge, who at this point is like a little robotic bear known as Monokuma. Monokuma is basically running a live service streaming show where people are watching them do this as a form of sadistic entertainment. And I caught on immediately that the animation is very, very much like the game in a way, not plot-wise, but when he goes to interject and he's like, "You're wrong," like in a fucking trial debate, it does the animations for the game where it's like cocking the gun and shoots the bullet, but it's just him fucking being Phoenix Wright from Capcom. And I think that's pretty cool. I do have a lot of fun with Danganronpa. I don't think it's a masterpiece by all means, but it definitely is like really fun to get into. So the idea is that if they choose the wrong person and the killer actually gets away with the murder without anybody ever finding out that he was the killer or that they were the killer, then everybody else dies. So they establish that there's 15 students that started this whole charade, but there's like 16 trial stands.
And the extra podium belongs to whom? Counting our departed classmates, we number 15. Why 16 places?
And it turns out that it's the sister to the main villain, and that she was supposed to be like cosplaying as her, like a disguise as that person, so she had no idea. And this lady just basically sadistically murders her own sister. It's just this big elaborate plot. It's kind of weird because they took over the world, which I don't exactly know how they managed to accomplish with massive superpowers like the United States and Russia and China. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. I actually think it makes a little bit less sense than Another's Calamity. But overall, I feel like I had more fun watching Danganronpa. It really wasn't bad. I don't think it was great. It was definitely okay. It was good. I had a lot more fun watching Danganronpa, and I feel like I would recommend it more. But Another definitely has a lot more substance to me. Like, there's a lot more to digest there. I do recommend watching both of them, but I feel like I just had more fun with Danganronpa. It really isn't anything special, but it's definitely something that I think you should watch and just enjoy and see if you might want to get into the games, because I might try playing the game soon. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Complete.